Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Grindhouse Massacre with our second last group stage matchup here, where we do see Bubba on the Dead Dog Saloon, and I am your caster Nugs today. We see 10 pounds on the Bubba here, 4 Cinder Aces, and they are against PSR, who has Tyro, High, Shadowhunter, and Stingblade. We catch Shadowhunter and another driver stealthing at the edge of the map. Going to be chasing Shadowhunter at that tile, going to force the pallet break. And we do find Pi at Jack here. Going to be revving that to force that Jack pallet to be dropped. We're going to be taking this space towards the front of the main building now. And this looks like an early first down just in time for 10 pounds. With agitation, we do see that we are going to be taking a basement hook, which is very strong for 10 pounds here. It will be very hard to save against a basement Bubba. We should expect to see 10 pounds roughly camp the area to make sure no one can get high and force a 3v1 very early into this game here. Going to be breaking the breakable door at Shack here and making sure no one is working at water tower generator. Going to be forcing Pyro off and does not make the pallet in time in order to secure safety. That will also be a slug and no one going for Pi's rescue. This is looking not so great for PSR right now, as we see 10 pounds making sure that no one is going for Tyro's pickup or the rescue onto Pi. We hear some form of progress on the mid generator, but due to 10 pounds being near, there is no safety in working such a generator. I'm going to be checking this cactus field area. We do see a survivor working that generator. And with Pi hitting stage 2, we are going to be going for Springblade here, trying to get him down and get the snowball going. Getting the pallet stun though. Swingblade knowing his timing, and 10 pounds will be immediately leaving that chase. We see Tyro get picked up by Shadowhunter right by the water tower, and Wingblade going in for a trade. A nice and rev. But the real question is, will Pi escape Shack safely? And that answer will be a no. There'll be a death at 5 generators and yet another basement hook. 10 pounds with the Nodders. And now it's Swingblade's turn to hang around in Bubba's basement. On that nice back hook, more Nodders. And likely going to what friends were active. Trying to pre-rev that chainsaw, kick anyone that was going to be working on that gen off. And we are going to be kicking it with the generator up far in the distance, all the way on the opposite corner of the map here. And now we're just patrolling a lot of generators at once with this basement hook, as this is a very different spread around Shack. 10 pounds can just make it to any of these generators safely while still in enough radius to make sure Swingblade's unhook is unsafe. 10 pounds is casually just vibing at these basement stairs, and Shadowhunter and Tyro are likely working the main building generator, trying to get down to 3 generators, as Swingblade does hit the second stage now. Going to be going to break this pallet, faking it. The survivor is here. That is Shadowhunter. Going to be caught in a rather dead zone, just as the killer to play with right now. And Wingblade's rescue does happen as well by Tyro, but we will just be simply picking up Shadowhunter and taking a Pain Resonant hook instead of the basement, opting for Gen Regression instead. There will be a Pain Resonant happening on a generator, likely that Cactus Gen generator that we saw 10 pounds rotate towards to. We see scratch marks in the distance, not sure whose, but now Shadow Hunter hooked in this very tight 3-gen. See progress happening on the water tower generator. Swingblade going for a stun, but it does not happen in time. It's just Tyro standing now. Up to him to save the game. 10 pounds looking for Tyro's location. Tyro needing to stealth here to make sure that this is not a 4K at 4 generators remaining. And with a lot of line of sight with how this map is generated, this will be a difficult snowball for Tyro to get PSR out of. Shadow Hunter going to be hitting the second stage here as 10 pounds gives more nodders, and we do find Tyro trying to stealth at the edge of the street here, giving some nice nodders, letting Tyro know, yeah, this is going to be a 4K4. 10 pounds with some nice tricks, but Tyro does read it and gets the stun. Pallet break will come through, but it doesn't look like anything is near for Tyro's safety. Tyro going to be faking the vault, but 10 pounds does beat it. A swing and a miss, and Tyro gets another pallet stun, trying to keep the game alive as Shadow Hunter slowly gets taken towards the entry. But by the power of the double speed add-ons, Tyro will not be able to make that window, and that will be a 4K at 4 generators remaining. Once we do find Swingblade, Tyro with Boil Over trying to give 10 pounds a hard time here. And now there's just the search for Swingblade, who did go down at the water tower, but could have crawled anywhere. 10 pounds going to be patiently waiting at the hatch here, deciding to against going for a search for Swingblade. As Tyro will be slowly going off this hook, roughly halfway there towards the second stage, and Swingblade is crawling towards the hatch, and 10 pounds will be picking up Swingblade, taking her towards her inevitable denies, and that will be a 4K at 4 generators for Cinder Aces, a very strong result, and we shall see what PSR's Bubba has for us shortly after. Hello everyone, welcome back to match 2 of set 1 of Grindhouse Massacre, where Tyro here is faced with a very difficult win con of a 4K at 5 generators, as 10 pounds, Cinder Aces Bubba got a 4K at 4 generators against PSR. I'm your caster Nugs for this matchup, and Tyro is going to be looking for survivors stealthing in the corrupt area. We do find one. We see Crystallize over here at this tile in the corrupt area. Tyro doing some amazing respecting of the pallet, forcing Crystal to break or drop the pallet, and an M1 will be happening. Crystal running towards main, and Tyro will be immediately leaving that chase, as we do see progress on the middle generator. Tyro looking around Shack, seeing whoever was working on that generator, wherever they were stealthing, but we do find another survivor pre-running here. Gray going to be caught, forced to drop that pallet, and Tyro will be taking nice, good care of it. Tyro just respecting these pallets, not wanting to eat a stun. And we're going to be vaulting with Bamboozle, revealing Bamboozle to Cinder Aces, expecting Gray to vault, and they do. And that will be the first down of the game. Corrupt is over, and Boil over. is what we shall be doing. Tyro going for a Pain Resonance hook. We do see him go past 2 hooks in order to get such a hook, as Ruin also gets cleansed. So there's no more passive regression for Tyro now. And we do hear progress on this Gallows generator, as we do see Crystal once more heading towards main. When Tyro says, no, I don't want to chase that, and leaves that chase rather immediately. Gonna be looking around the middle of the map, trying to see if anyone was rotating for Gray's unhook. Gonna be going into main now, trying to find whoever was working on this main generator, and that is Guardian going to be found, but Tyro once again says, no, I don't want to chase that, and leaves. We see Crystal at back rotating for the pull, but unable to successfully sell. Now we just have this front main pallet, as Guardian also enters space, and a Cactus Field generator does pop. Now we are at the tie condition. One more generator, and Cinder Aces will be taking the Bubba set. Tyro looking around for more stealthing survivors, gonna head back to main, trying to not let this generator pop. And Gray now getting unhooked, entering chase with Guardian, this main generator, and still chasing Guardian here. Gonna be breaking this wall instead of vaulting with Bamboozle. Just gonna give him an easier life as chase starts once more, but we are immediately leaving to go after Crystal now, who is taking this chase right to his shack. And the reset onto Gray by mail does come through. Maybe the stack pallet getting immediately dropped. Crystal not realizing there was Bamboozle, however, and this might just be a down. No, a pallet stun does happen, just enough distance to get that pallet stun, and a missed skill check on the main generator. Another missed skill check on the Gallows generator as well. We see a survivor leaving through the stairs. That is Gray, our designated tunnel out. Forced to take this case to back field in the corner of the map, getting a nice pallet stun. Generators are being worked. The second generator could pop at any moment now. Gray now gonna be going towards this pillar here. Tyro once more respecting, and just gonna opt for an M1 instead of going for a chainsaw and forcing Gray to drop more resources. But now with nothing left for Gray to use, just has this nice hut, and that will be the second generator popping of the game, confirming the set win for Cinder Aces. We see Mail in the distance, perhaps trying to go for a flashlight save, but unfortunately the distance was not there as the main generator pops as well. Tyro now going to be following Mail's scratch marks and just go for this chase onto Mail. This pallet here is already destroyed. Tyro is very aware, but with just all, Mail will not be able to make the water tower pallet. Tyro wanting to break that wall as well, but unfortunately did not have the required charge to be able to break the wall. I'm going to be taking the same Pain Resonance hook now. To be making our way, taking this bottom side of the map, as the Gallows generator is the dead generator of the remaining 4 gen. We see some progress on this generator here at 5, and scratch marks went towards main instead of edge map here. Tyro having not yet to realize and opts to go back towards the hook, trying to see if anyone was rotating for Mail's pole, in which we do not see anyone rotating for that, as a matter of fact. Tyro's still looking around, looking to secure Mail's second stage, checking these bushes, common stealth spots for the Dead Dog Balloon. And just going to be simply securing here as the Entity Claws do form. Tyro heads back towards this generator that we saw with high progress earlier, and now it has even more progress. Crystal just going to be immediately taking an M1 and taking this chase towards Shack, as a matter of fact, as another generator does pop in the distance, likely that generator in the corner of the map by Guardian. With not a lot of pallets, however, this Crystal does not have a lot to work with. Chemical Trap, however, will be forcing Tyro to not break this pallet without giving up a lot of distance. Going to be going back to this 5 generator, giving both 3, but Guardian was already rotating, so there was no gen progress happening in the distance of Crystal's chase. You hear the grunting pain of Nail, and we're going to be opting to go for Guardian instead, and breaking this pallet with Chemical Trap. Gonna get all iced up and slowed. Now we'll be taking a pain res on Guardian here, if there is one available. Looks like this one in the top middle of the map is going to suffice as a pain resonance hook. And a missed kill check does happen, granting a total of 30% lost progress onto that generator, which is a lot of progress, especially when it was just as high progress as that. We're going to be finding Crystal, taking chase towards main here. Not sure if we do make this vault, however. Does not get the fast vault either, unfortunately. And Tyro will be snowballing this to try and get a potential 4K1. We see Guardian in the distance, but Mail going to an area with not that many resources available. Just this water tower pallet and a couple windows. Tyro deciding to not respect the pallet this time, and will be respecting that time around because he knows he will be getting stunned otherwise. Gets the hit through the window vault, and Crystal does get picked up. That will be the second death of the game, with just Crystal and Guardian remaining to try and get some outs here. But with constant regression on that 5 generator, or at least it should, as a matter of fact, was not regressing. Crystal was able to stop the regression in time. We see a reset onto Guardian now, and Crystal's reset likely soon to follow, as Tyro goes to the position as to where Crystal was down, and it does happen. Going to be taking it down for a nice little tantrum and picking up Crystal instead of going for a slug snowball. With this would be the final team resonance of the game, as we hear the 3-gen mechanic does happen in the background, indicating that a lot of regression events were used on that 5 generator. Tyro checking for Guardian's position, as Guardian could not have gone far and is able to patrol at least 2 of these generators while keeping Crystal in check to make sure that Guardian is not rotating for a pull. Checking around main here, seeing if Guardian is stealthing close by to try and keep this 2v1 alive. And now Crystal is able to call out that Tyro is just lurking around the hook, making sure Guardian does not get that pull. Still looking for Guardian, and while Guardian is nowhere to be found, it is likely that he's not working generator either. Guardian does sneak past Tyro, however, and will be getting that pull onto Crystal. This game is not over yet. We see Guardian at the front of the main building getting stuck on the door a little bit, unfortunately. And that will cause not being able to make that fast vault. Guardian opting to keep this chase at the main building, while Crystal hopefully gets some gen progress, making sure that this is a all generators popped game instead of a 4K at 1 generator. Guardian unable to have the distance to make that window once more, however. And with regression stopped, we see blood. Pyro assumes that Crystal is at the window, but Crystal was not. Instead, leaving, heading towards Shack, with not a lot of resources in this area at all. We just simply have a couple windows to play with and this filler. Pyro gonna be doing some nice double back and catch Crystal off guard, but now Crystal being forced to go to the edge of the map and not gonna make the seawall vault. And that will be a 4K at 1 generator remaining, as there is no unbreakable to save them. An excellent performance from Tyro, excellent performance from Cinder Aces as well. Gonna be able to take that set win. And now PSR will need to take the demo set in order to go to the tiebreaker, which is Artist. Tyro now searching for Guardian wherever Guardian is. It seems to be that Guardian has crawled somewhere, but we do find Guardian, as a matter of fact. Very much securing a nice, strong 4K1 result for Tyro. Very good, but unfortunately was not enough to take the set. We will be seeing you guys with PSR on the Demogorgon very shortly, right after a small break. Hello everyone, welcome back to PSR versus Cinder Aces set 2 now. We are on CT with the Demogorgon, the comp home of comp. And now we have Georgie on the Demogorgon, as PSR is killing first against Cinder Aces survivors. We see Crystal fast exit a locker in front of Georgie, and that will be the first chase. M1 happens, but unfortunately does not land. Just happened a little bit too soon, and will be immediately shredding this wall right by the main window and leaving this chase, as we see scratch marks heading right towards the bottom side of the map. Gonna be pre-vaulting this window with Bamboozle, and that will be Guardian being found. Pallet gets dropped, and Georgie gets suctioned right to the pallet break. And now Chase being brought to the middle of the map. Guardian slowly making his way towards the corrupt area of the map at this moment, but does not have any resources at the back of main, just this window and pallet to play with. Pallet does go down, and pallet break also comes through as well. Chase now being brought towards this window gym here, and with Bamboozle, only one of them is able to play around, and we do see Crystal trying to get an early beam save to delay the first hook even further, but instead it looks like it's gonna snowball into a two-man slug at 5 runners remaining. And now with Guardian being found, I believe this will be a pain res at 11 here, and that will be first pain res does come through, and Crystal now, instead of going, or Georgie now going, instead of going for Crystal, will be applying Pop Goes the Weasel onto the 8 generator. The festival does happen, Crystal will be getting picked up, and Gray will also be taking a body block as the unhook on Guardian also happens. Gray, with balanced landing, going to be taking this chase towards the bottom side of the map here, away from any regen that Georgie does have. Bloodlust does happen, and barely misses the shred. Gonna get reverse pallet stunned as well. Georgie going for a shred, but just a little bit too late to land. And now we'll be zoning Gray right to the bottom of the map. The edge here. This will be our second hook of the game and our second pain res, if there is one near. It looks like we'll be taking this bottom middle hook here, and we shall see if it is a pain res. It is. That will be 20% being removed from a generator somewhere on this map here. Looks like it hit this hill generator here, as we do see it regressing, and we're gonna be doing some Sky Demo gameplay, catching Guardian at the same filler as first base of the game here. But with no resources around, with that window bamboozled, Guardian is going to be forced to quickly take a hit and head towards the bottom side of the map, as we see Guardian appear right in front of the Sky Demo, and that will be the second stage onto Guardian now. In the meantime, Gray did get rescued off of their hook, and now with a hook in the middle of the map, this is very strong for Georgie. Heading on over to the top side of the map, we see that this generator does pop right before Georgie can make it, and the unhook onto Guardian as well. But Gray, with no resources at all to their disposal, will be going down rather quickly, and that will be their second stage as well. Right at this back main hook here, reset onto Guardian does happen, and we're going to be portaling right over towards the bottom side of the map here, trying to catch Guardian off guard likely. We do see blood, we do see crystal, and now this will be another Fresh Hook survivor. If it does go down, there will be the third pain resonance of the game. And now Crystal going to be forced at this window jump here, and with Bamboozle only able to play around one window, hitting a medium vault, and that will be the down. We see Mail in the distance as well, who just finished a reset onto Gray, and gonna be opening another portal at the main building, heading right back towards the bottom side of the map now. Going right towards this hill generator, which we do see progress on, and someone has 3 left over to this 4 lane now. That is Guardian, someone on Death Hook. Once this down does happen, the body blocks happen from either Nail or Crystal. But with the reset happening on Crystal, it does not look like there will be body blocks for a little bit, so Guardian defend by themselves, bamboozling the back window, and Guardian forced to drop the pallet. Georgie doing some good zoning towards the side of the map, and Crystal there just in time to extend Guardian's chase just a little bit further, but down will be shortly after. Crystal trying to stick around for a potential flashlight save, but does not happen, and there will be another 2-man slug happening with this death at 3 generators now. And Crystal will be going to the second stage once we do pick Crystal up, but it looks like Georgie is opting to use top goes to Lisa's first, and then if Crystal is still slugged, go for Crystal. Being up to the main two, we see Gray and the main generator with a lot of progress as well. Gonna be sky demoing up towards 11. We hear progress on this generator as well. This would be the doing of Mail, but it looks like Mail went ahead and picked up Crystal. And now we're going to be once more transporting towards the bottom side of the map, where Crystal is. We see Crystal at the 4 lane now. And a head-on will be happening. Window vault does happen, but ultimately the down does conclude shortly after, as this is not a great area for survivors at this moment. I'm going to be taking this hook on the right side of the map, and now going right back to main, to probably once more apply Pop Goes the Weasel. We hear Yui's grunts of pain, though, gonna be not coming down as the exhaustion did not come back in time, and now it is just Male standing them to prevent a 4K3. Male is down, however, Georgie with little M1 width, and Male just W keying right towards Crystal's hook. The tag does happen, and just enough distance to be getting Crystal off the hook. Crystal with a speed boost and a dream now, as it is their turn to try and make this not a snowball, but quiet, and a firecracker as well. Good vault does happen. Break it picked up right back onto the ground as the main window also gets blocked due to Crystal vaulting it 3 times. And now Crystal has an important shred to dodge, but Gordon doing the good old M2 bait to get Crystal to dodge. It will be all survivors slug, 3 generators remaining, and a 4K3 strong win con by Georgie. Unfortunately, Cinder Ace's survivors were just unable to keep up with the pressure that Georgie had made. It will be Male being found. Pain Rest will not be used. Going to be saving a Pain Rest token for the next game. As we hear in front of Ellen Ripley. Now going to be going onto this hook here at 1. And that will be the death on Crystal. Now we are just simply searching for Gray, who went down at the main window, crawling up towards the second floor of main, trying to do some good old stealthing. But that is the 4K at 3 generators. Cinder and the Gorgon will be needing to get a 4K at 4 generators in order to take a 2-0 victory over PSR. We shall see what their demo does do once we come back in with set 2 Massacre shortly. Hello everyone, welcome back to the comp tower, where our Demogorgon on Cinder Ace is here, 10 pounds, as the win con of 4K at 4 generators, as Georgie, PSR's Demogorgon, got a strong 4K at 3 generators for PSR. I see 10 pounds setting up some portals to defend these generators, and we do see a unique build having Scorchhook Gift of Pain, not a common perk on the Demogorgon here. But we do have our first chase of the game, Georgie going to be found at main, but able to take this chase right towards the bottom side of the map, where 2 of the corrupted generators are. Very strong pre-drop does come through Georgie, but 10 pounds has already left that chase, trying to defend some non-corrupted generators to try and attempt to take a 2-0 victory over PSR here. Georgie once again has been found and doing some strong TL mind games. 10 pounds popping to take that shred hit there. And now following Georgie all the way to this tile at 5 here, going for a shred, but unfortunately barely missing now. And with this pallet already dropped, Georgie will be going to vault, but does not make it around, trying to force the locker instead. 10 pounds opting to go for a slugging play, trying to force Tyro off of that middle generator. And now we shall see agitation get revealed here as the 11th generator does pop. No more generators can pop in order for 10 pounds to take the set win for Cinder Aces here. And that will be a Pain Resonance at the middle of the map. Once Georgie gets unhooked, he will be able to call Scorchhook Gift of Pain, and the build will be known. We find a survivor heading towards the back of main, but we also find Pi at the front of main, heading towards this window gym here, but with no bamboozle this time around. A little bit harder to play around. Pi gonna be taking a shred hit and going right towards the bottom side of the map here. 10 pounds with a nice sky demo, landing on some boxes, ready for transportation. And this Pi filler will be getting dropped and shredded away. We have another filler in the middle of the map here, and now 10 pounds doing some insane mind games. Which way will he go? But Pi is able to read them very well, and that will be down onto Pi right in the middle of the map. This generator in the middle of the map has also been regressing this whole time as we see a missed skill check at 1. Gonna be taking the same hook as before, and that will be another pain resonance happening, likely on that 1 generator. We're gonna be heading towards main, checking the progress on that. We see Cairo at the main building, however, and be shredding this wall right by the main window, and now just committing to Tyro at the main building as we did see a second generator did pop in distance, securing the Tycon for PSR now. PSR needs one more generator in order to take the set. And now 10 pounds just looking over at 1 here. In chase, we do find Pyro once more, heading towards the back of main, but 10 pounds opts to not go for that chase as we do see him rotating around. 10 pounds doing some vibing, heading towards the bottom side of the map here. We hear a lot of progress on Shack and High as well being found. Gonna be staring into High's soul for a little bit as we chase at Shack. Gonna be going for a shred through the Shack pallet, but gets stunned. High with the perfect throw of the Shack pallet. Gonna be placing a portal in between these two generators and heading right towards 1 now. Heading out here, we have our undetectable, and gonna be heading over to 2 here as we do see Swingblade trying to stealth out, but does get caught out. Gonna be taking a nice shred by 10 pounds now, and just W-keying right towards the bottom side of the map as that is a generator with a lot of progress. That and Shack. If either of those pop, that will be the win for PSR. And Swingblade with an excellent dodge now, not going for that vault. That is the Shack generator popping and the win secured for PSR. 10 pounds still vibing as that chase does come to a close. Will be our third pain resonance of this game. 10 pounds giving some nodders, just vibing. And that will be main and 1 popping as well, not able to get the pain resonance off in time, even with agitation. 10 pounds has accepted their fate. That all generators are popped, and now just going to be looking around, defending this exit gate here, and not letting a hole come through onto Swingblade now. The Shack gate likely does have progress. The reset onto Georgie does come through, and I's reset will likely happen as well in a short matter of time. 10 pounds going to be checking the Shack gate, and it is, as a matter of fact, open by Pi, who is there alone, which means the pull onto Swingblade is, as a matter of fact, free. 2 body blocks to get to this Shack gate here, and that will be a 4-man escape with 3 stages. We see Georgie and Tyro just beelining right towards Shack with Swingblade right in front of them, and will not be able to reach that shred. That will be a 3-stage game on the Demogorgon here, and now we will be going to the tiebreaker, which is Artist on Family Residence. We will see you then. Hello, everyone. We are on the tiebreaker of PSR versus Cinder Aces here. And wait a minute, this is not ARP. This is Family Residence, as a matter of fact, with Male starting us off for Cinder Aces Artist here. We see a build of Agitation, Pain, Resonance, Forced Hesitation, and the typical Corrupt Intervention. And we have our usual 3-gen topside that we do see in the Family Residence. Male just looking for any survivors, trying to cross the middle of the map here to try and get to some non-corrupted generators. And we do find Tyro, as a matter of fact, trying to stealth out Male here and the corrupt. Tyro going to be taking it towards the middle of the map here. And a solid pre-drop does happen. Going to be prepping a bird on that pallet, making sure that Tyro cannot vault it anymore. And you're going to have a third bird on standby in case someone works a bottom side generator. We hear progress on this generator right by Shaq here. And going to be double backing through Shaq. Tyro opting to hold W instead. And now this chase has made it completely to the bottom side of the map with another pre-drop in the corner of the map here. Now Tyro is swarmed, forced to go to the edge of the map now. And that will be the first down of the game. And with Agitation, looks like we're going to be taking this hook over in the corner of the map as Male was looking for a Pain Resonance hook. And that will be the first Pain Resonance of the game. I'm going to be launching a bird right to the opposite corner of the map now. And we do hear even more progress on this generator over at 8th. And we do see a survivor that is Shadow Hunter trying to stealth away. Ends up running topside. And now 2 birds are set up right towards, 3 birds are set up right towards Tyro's unhook. And that will be them all dissipating away. Shadow Hunter taking a bird and instantly going right to the nearest blocker to prevent some form of insta-down onto Tyro. That will be the hit happening through the pallet, but Tyro unable to get the crows off for the vault. The birds go off and miss Tyro as well. That will be Tyro being able to get unswarmed. Chase still at this TL. We see 2 generators pop in the distance, and Tyro just holding W. Gonna be forcing Tyro all the way back to the edge map, and will be making that vault just in time, but not that one, as a matter of fact. Male looking for a driver, perhaps trying to go for a save, and a 3rd generator does pop as well. Maybe Tyro going right back on the same hook. We have 1 generator bottom here at the TLs, and our 3-gen at the top side of the map now. Male just needing to stick at the top side of the map now to try and get some form of 4K at 1 generator. And we do see Shadow Hunter does get swarmed, but has a locker nearby enough to get himself unswarmed just in time. Male setting up more birds right towards Tyro's unhook. Tyro and Swingblade will be getting swarmed once more. And now they will be able to get their throws off, but Tyro not going to be able to make the Shack pallet. Forced hesitation in play. That's going to be a free hit onto Swingblade with this 20% hinder, doing a lot of work. And now going to be picking up Tyro to your a 3v1 happening. Going to be taking the basement hook right here in Shack, but still on the opposite side of the map where generators are being worked. I and Shadow Hunter able to freely work any and all generators on the top side of the map, and we could see one popping soon. Male trying to set up for a hit, and that will be a hit and injure onto Pi as we hear a lot of progress on the main generator here. Shadowhunter and Pi looking like they were doubling such a generator, and a little bit of progress here found on the 10 generator. He's sending birds towards 1, and Swingblade will be working that generator as well. Male going to be figuring out the rough position of all 3 remaining survivors. We see Pi running towards the bottom side of the map, and Shadowhunter will be taking an M1 in order to get those crows repelled away from him. Male going to be committing towards Shadowhunter here, and going to be taking crows towards 1, trying to get Swingblade off the gen, but that is main popping, and a horrific gen spread for Male here, as we have 1 gen on the bottom side of the map, and 2 generators on opposite corners from each other. Gonna be taking another Pain Resonance hook here. Yep, that will be a Pain Resonance, and now sending birds right towards 1, as we did hear very little progress on the TL generator. Still going for those double hits. Pi and Swingblade still injured. No reset to come. Gonna send the bird towards the TL generator. And now we're just gonna be patrolling the hook while slowly sending birds towards all 3 of these generators. So far, no survivors will be found, and the pull onto Shadowhunter does happen. We have 1 bird set towards 1 there, and Male just looking for some form of funnel out. Wingblade now getting hit by some crows, and we do see scratch marks and some blood heading towards Shack. We do hear a Nancy indicating that that is Shadowhunter, and will be getting found and down. That will be the second hook right onto Shadowhunter. We'll be taking Shadowhunter right to the same hook as before. Keeping him nice and safe there. And now Male going for a prediction play on that generator to get Swingblade swarmed and then a down. But Adrenaline does come through as Swingblade does pop that final generator. Male looking at the gates that he has here. Shadowhunter conveniently hooked right in between both gates, and so far no gates do have any progress at all. Male currently able to sit nice and comfy, and just gonna be sending birds to that gate that he cannot see. Looks like no trade attempt on Shadowhunter will be happening. Shadowhunter missing a skill check in the struggle phase, which will cut that timer down by roughly 5 seconds, and now no one will be able to get the save. But it looks like Pi and Swingblade are happy with a nice 6 stages, 2 fresh result as Pi escapes the trial. Swingblade still nowhere to be seen, however. Could be anywhere. But given that they are healthy and no NOED, that will be the game with 6 stages, 2 fresh. We shall see what PSR's Artist has to offer with this final tiebreaker. We shall see you then. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the final match of today's matchup between PSR and Cinder Aces, where we see Georgie on the Artist with 2 separate options for a win con, either 7 stages or 6 stages with 3 fresh hooks. We see Georgie trying to send birds, trying to find some survivors that are stealthing, and we do find one over on the 3 side of the map. Crystal going to be found here, but with Sprint Burst able to make it to the seawall and trying to run away, but Georgie does read what Crystal is doing and will be catching Crystal, getting birds on the shack window now. and using that pallet drop for enough time in order to get birds off. Georgie and Crystal having a nice moment there, and that will be the end of Corrupt Intervention. Going to be taking Georgie, or going to be taking Crystal towards the basement here. Was thinking of the idea of a pain res, but instead opted to go for a nice basement hook instead. Going to be breaking Shack pallet, that will be no more, and going to be sending a bird up towards this generator over at 9 here. And going for the injure onto Gray. It does happen. And Ruin still not to be found yet, luckily. With Gray's pathing, they might have seen it. But Georgie going to be taking Ruin and that 11 generator at the same time. Once again, found Gray and will be chasing Gray here over at this 4 lane. A nice quick chase by Georgie here. Just able to read what Gray is going to be doing. And Mail will also be found as well. Heading towards the middle of the map. Will be spotting Ruin if they did pan their camera correctly. And that will be an M1 onto Mail. Crystal hitting the second stage. And that will be Guardian just chilling at 1. We're going to be able to make a locker just in time, though. Gray will be getting picked up, and Guardian will be at this T-wall here. Going to be setting a bird, not letting Guardian run through safely, and that will be a health state coming through onto Guardian. But now we have the main building to play with, and that will be Ruin getting cleansed, and Crystal getting pulled off of the hook in the basement. Going to be sending a bird right towards 11, and as that generator and this generator here do have high progress. Georgie going to be taking Guardian here over to a Pain Resonance hook, most likely given this pathing here. And that will be a Pain Resonance, likely on that generator at the tail walls. Going to be sending birds towards 1. No one will be found off of those birds, and we do see a missed skill check on this generator here by Gray, likely a 7% to try and pre-stealth as they are injured. Gray doing a good job holding W, reading what Georgie was going to do. Now Chase is being brought topside, and will be forcing Gray to hold W away, but not towards the cue ball, towards the edge map, and forcing that down. We see the unhook on Guardian does happen, and a reset as well. Still at 5 generators, and this will be our 3rd fresh hook, confirming that all Georgie needs is 2 more stages to take this and take the win for PSR. Georgie looking around where Guardian was unhooked, to no avail, unfortunately, however. But we do see scratch marks going for Gray's unhook. That is Guardian. And Guardian not having any resources here, being forced to take that M1. And Guardian opting to hold W right towards the bottom side of the map here. Georgie not going to be launching that bird, and instead it's going to let it go on cooldown as Gray does get unhooked. We find Crystal here working the 9 generator, and the bird misses Crystal and instead hits Guardian, as a matter of fact, which was not expected at all. But now with Crystal's pathing, Georgie can choose to launch that bird, but decided not to. Guardian gonna repel those throws away, and now setting a bird up to try and get the 1-shot down onto Crystal, and it does happen. That will be the fifth stage of the game. As resets do come through, everyone else is now healthy, and Crystal is now dead. We have a 3v1 right at 4 generators remaining now, and no one to be found at that one generator. We head back towards this 9 generator. We do see that it does have high progress, and Georgie able to spot exactly where Gray was stealthing. That will be Life gonna be able to make it back to this window, and a generator does pop in the distance. That is one, and an M1 will be happening. Gray opting to take this right towards the bottom side of the map, but Georgie says no and decides to leave this chase here. We hear very little progress on the main building generator, and heading over towards the middle of the map to the 3 side, but we do spot a survivor rotating topside here. That is Guardian. Going to be caught out of position now. Having a bird nice and set up, and Guardian going to be baiting the bird launch and forcing the M1 to be taken instead. But Guardian not looking like there's resources near that he can reach without another M1 coming through. And that will be a quick down onto Guardian and the win for PSR in this set. We're going to be picking this generator here and sending birds towards the 4 lane, expecting a survivor to be stealthing in this area. And there is. Gray is found right at this pallet. Nice and pre-dropped. Gray gonna be holding W top side of the map once more. And now we'll be taking an M1, trying to hold W, but Georgie does read that play. With where Guardian is hooked, it is very optimal for Georgie. We hear Killer Instinct from Male, and it looks like Guardian will just simply be dying on this hook. We have Gray being found at the main building now, with a bird being sent that will be hitting Gray, and Guardian's timer is running out. That will be the death confirmed, and now Gray needs to repel once more from the beginning. Just going to be going to the corner of the map, and with the Killer Instinct gained earlier from sending birds to that generator that has just popped, Male is there. Georgie upset that he cannot get a 4K3. Now it is just Male to save the snowball from happening. Georgie is going to be on the looks for Male here. He couldn't have gone far from that gen pop, given the amount of time spent from Georgie to get towards this generator here. Likely stealthing around the shack area. And me when I lie, Bird's going to be hitting Male and giving Georgie the information needed in order to find and get the down on Male here. Male forced to hold W on the shack because of that bird placement, unfortunately, and now it looks like Male is going to be trying to survive long enough and get towards where Gray did, as a matter of fact, go down. Georgie able to read what Male is going to be doing perfectly, however, and that will secure a 4K at 2 generators remaining. PSR will be taking this win over Cinder Aces. Very well fought between both teams. Georgie going to be sending birds, trying to get that Killer Instinct onto Gray, wherever they have crawled to. We see Gray just chilling right at main, and that will be it for today. That was our final game, a 2-1 victory for PSR. Very good performance by Georgie. very good performance by everyone involved. This was a very entertaining matchup between both of these teams, and that will be it for me. I was Nugs, your caster between these two teams, and we shall see you on the 14th for our final matchup of the group stage.